So if you want to stay average, then this video is probably not for you. But if you're ready to build a life that hits differently, that's full of impact, it allows you to be someone different and for you to start being different. I always say you've got to do things differently if you want to be someone different, of course. But if you want to be great, you've got to be willing to do what other people aren't. And I'm going to give you some 12 things, some moves and some things that you can do today that's going to probably set you apart. You'll probably find there's a lot of people that aren't doing. They might be doing bits and a few of these, but if you're going to do all of them, man, it's going to make so much of a difference in your life. Welcome to the video. Brandon Giebel here. Hope you are doing well. Now, most men drift through life hoping something magical will happen. Something will change just easily and magically. But nothing changes until you change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And so these 12 practices are the daily moves that will allow for massive growth and impact in your life. And they will ultimately allow you to reach your goals and your targets and your desires and dreams faster. A lot of people, they don't really know where to go or what's going on or what to do to actually get there. And I'm going to give you some things that probably aren't really spoken about, that's going to give you some practices, some moves that you can do. I pride myself on doing all the things that are hard, all the things that I know other people don't. The times that I get up at ridiculous times because I've got to get a workout in before I do other things. Jumping in the cold first thing in the morning at 4 a.m. Like, I pride myself on those things. Staying up till 11, 12 at night, self-developing. I pride myself on those things because I'm willing to do that, what other people are not. So let's dive in. Number one, gratitude and give thanks. I always say, why would God, universe, source, spirit, whatever your belief, why would they give us any more if we're not grateful for what we got? It's really amazing what we have. Like, literally, there's shelter, there's power, there's electricity. We literally can go to the shop and buy anything that we want. We don't have to wait for it to grow or to go kill it ourselves. Like, it's all there. Like, I think because we have so much of it, it doesn't become special anymore, and it just becomes what it is, and we take it for granted. I first learnt this when I was in Fiji. I was about 18 or 19. I went on my first overseas trip and went through Fiji's a nice place, right? But there's some areas which are a bit rough, and that was the first time that I experienced it. That was like a third world kind of type of living. And some of these people were so grateful, so appreciative. And they were some of the happiest people that I've ever experienced. And I'm like, why? They've got hardly anything. But it just goes to show. And I always say, what you don't know, right? Hey, it's Brendan. Quick interruption to your regularly scheduled video. I want to let you know of an opportunity that you have to go even deeper into this work together. Now, if you have not yet, please check out the description down below. And in there, we've got links to both Launch, our 3-day event, and also Ascend, our high performance mastermind. Now, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and it's the most ruthlessly effective event to change your brain, for you to become more aware of the subconscious programs and beliefs that have been holding you back, and to teach you the tools, the techniques, and the processes to dramatically transform those programs and those beliefs and literally rewire your brain. Again, Launch, it's our 3-day event, and we run them 5 times a year. We also have Ascend, which is our 12-month high-performing mastermind for men who are committed to their growth and who want to totally recreate themselves. I literally want to send you a new birth certificate in 12 months' time because you've grown that much. So if you're a man and you want to go fast, you want to go big, and you understand that you don't want to put off living life at your potential, and you don't want to hold on to any unnecessary stress, anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, or suffering, and you want to be liberated from those habits of thinking and live life to the fullest. So check out the links in the description, take a look at the program information and the amazing success stories from the men just like you who have gone through some of their programs, and I'll see you on the other side. And now, let's get back to the video. So the fact that we see all of this stuff that we don't have, we see lack. I wonder if that's perpetuating this cycle of not being grateful for what we got, because we see what we don't have all the time. Give gratitude, give thanks for what it is. Every single morning, I write down 10, 20, 30 things I'm grateful for. I do a little visualization with some inspirational music and I feel so grateful. I feel so amazing. I'm like, this is my life. Like, this is the life that I'm creating. This is my life. Actually, this morning it brought a tear to my eye when I was doing it. I just felt so grateful for my life and the mission and where I'm going. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. So the more that we can live in that state, the better. You can't be unhappy, you can't be sad, depressed, down, angry, frustrated if you're grateful. It doesn't coexist. So give thanks. Just thank you for anything. Thank you for the food that we get to have. Thank you for the friends, the family, the freedoms we have, the health that we have. You know, I always say as well, we might have 99 problems, but as soon as we have a health problem, we only have one. All the other problems go out the window. So just be thankful, even for your challenges and your problems, because they're here to help you grow and evolve and make you better. You know, the most powerful men are the ones who appreciate what they already have. So be grateful, and you can be dissatisfied but still be grateful. So you can be grateful for what you got but still be dissatisfied and be like, I still want more, but I'm super grateful for what I got. That's the place you want to get to. Step number 2, or the daily move number 2, dream building. This one is key. And when I say dream building, it's about connecting with a vision. It's about seeing things and going to different experiences and seeing what it is like to live at that level that you want to. You know, go to these car dealerships like Ferrari, Lamborghini, expand your capacity. That's what you're doing. You're expanding your capacity. There's like other YouTube videos that have, you know, visualizations, billionaire, millionaire visualizations. Just play them in the background as well. But go seek out these places, seek out these opportunities, seek out these events. I know Ed Milet spoke about every few months he would book just one hotel, one room, that's all, one night, that's all he could book. But it was like he exposed himself every quarter, a few times a year. And he ended up becoming his life, because the unconscious mind likes things that are familiar. So the more that you can dream build and make these things familiar in your life, your unconscious mind goes, oh, well, that's familiar, let's head towards that. That's the idea and the thing behind it, right? So the thing with your why too is dream building is connect with things that are important to you. And so if you don't have a vision, you'll perish. Simple. I think it's like 75% of people or men who retire, after they retire, they're dead within the first year because they lack purpose. There's nothing for them. Now, the definition of purpose is why something exists, right? So if you don't have a purpose to exist, you won't exist. If you don't have a purpose for your life, there's no reason for you to exist. And this is why so many people leave and our body just shuts down. It's like there's no use for me here, there's no need for me here, there's no purpose for me here, right? So we've got to have that, and don't compare it to someone else, right? Your vision is your vision. It doesn't have to be some impressing other people. It doesn't have to be some life-changing, world-changing vision. It could be just something that inspires you. It could be something that you want to be the best version of yourself. You want to be the best father, or you want to be the best in your role at your career. It doesn't matter what exactly it is, but as long as it's important and inspires you, that's all that matters. The man with the most clarity wins, right? And if your dreams don't scare you, they might not be big enough. So go a little bit bigger. You know, sometimes we settle and we set dreams too low. Tony Robbins has said that most people underestimate what they can get done in 10 years, but they overestimate what they can get done in 12 months. So it's like we kind of like overestimate what we can get done in this year, but then we shrink our future self, our 10-year future self. There's no need to be doing that, right? Number 3, read and associate daily. So read, like fuel your brain, you know, put it in. It's like you fuel your body, you fuel your brain too. Because here's the thing, what you consume will program you. So if you're not consciously choosing what you want to program yourself with, the external world will do it for you. I don't know about you, but there's too much stuff in the external world that I do not want programmed to me, right? I'm very, very mindful about what I put in my mind because it's my mind. I control what goes in there. I control how I think, how I feel, what I consume. A lot of people don't realize that they have that choice. And there's so much that is subliminal as well. There's so much that goes in under the surface, under the radar, that we're not consciously aware of, that's programming us. You know, like if you've ever just watched the news, at the end of it, you kind of feel like a bit down. That's just what it is. That's the energy that's there. It's not right or wrong. People like that stuff. It's cool. But for me, it's not something I'm interested in. And I put that barrier up. I'm like, I don't need to consume that stuff. And I've noticed that that's made a massive difference. Does it really matter, you know, what's going on in the world? Does it really matter? Unless it is directly affecting me, whatever happens doesn't really matter, right? So read daily, consume things that help you grow and evolve. Leaders are always readers, right? So read books, read Kindles. Audiobooks are okay, but physical books are much better than that. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with men, you know, who are on the same path as you. That's why our brotherhood here at Ascend, in our Ascend program, and a few other things are so powerful, because it's like we get to walk on the same path together. We're all lifting each other up. I don't claim to know everything. I know a lot, and I can help so many people, but you know, there's different things people might have, or some of the men might have direct questions around like divorces and stuff, and I've never personally gone through one. I'm not going to try and pretend I know what the feelings are like in that sense, you know. And that's the power, surrounding yourself with men who are on that path, who want to better themselves at the same time, and you associate with them. The other thing is you want to associate with your future self, the 5-year future self. Now, I want you to just think about your current situation, like your job, your financial position, your health, you know, your living situation. Like if you could just very, very descriptively tell me about your life right now, you'd be able to, right? And it will just come straight off your tongue. You'd just be like, yeah, well, this is what I'm doing. This is how much I'm earning. This is how much I got saved. This is what my business is, or my job, or my career is. This is what my family is like. This is what I do health-wise. So that's the level of detail that the future version of you needs to be in. And I think this is the biggest thing that goes wrong for a lot of people. They have like this very vague thing of where they want to be. But the one who has the most clarity wins. So the more clear you can get on that future version of you, probably the quicker it will come into your life anyway, right? And so you might go, in 5 years' time, I want to have this, but because you're so clear on it, you then have a decision every single day. Do I want to live at my current version, or do I want to live at my future version? And give that future version of you a name. Could be like King, could be, you know, $1 million, $100 million version of you. So for me, if I was going to use me, it could be like King Brendan, or $100 million Brendan, or something like that. Give it a name, and so that each morning I've got a decision. Do I want to be the current version of Brendan, or do I want to be the King version, the future version? Literally, it's a decision. So simple, so easy. You will be the exact same person in 5 years, except for the books you read and the people you meet. Charlie Tremendous Jones said that. So the people you meet, the books you read, that will determine who you become. Plus connecting with the vision, right? And so once you get clear on that, you read, you associate, things will just start flowing in that direction. And on to number 4, reflect on the good that you did yesterday. This one is really important. A lot of people, they don't take the time to look back. You know, that's where happiness and fulfillment and joy and growth comes from. The ability to look back and see how far you've come. Looking forward, you're just chasing this never-ending horizon. You're just constantly going, what's next, what's next, what's next? And you forget to appreciate and be grateful for what you've actually done. And you're always going to be in that place of the gap. You're always going to be in a place of lack, because you're looking at what you don't have, looking at the front, looking towards where you want to go. So it's really important just to take a little bit of time every single day, every evening. And I look back, and every morning I look back, I'm like, what are the wins that happened yesterday? What are the wins I want for today? In the evening, I'll be like, what did I learn today? What was good today? What miracles occurred today? And I reflect on each day just to get really clear on what it is, like what's the good? Because here's the thing, what you focus on expands. If you focus on the good and all the things that you have in your life that's what you want, you're gonna get more of those things, right? If we don't focus on those, if we don't expand those, then we don't get more of them. We get more on what we focus. We put focus on things expand. So if we focus on lack and what we don't have, we get more of that. So this is why just simply looking back, seeing all the good that you did the day before, and don't be delusional about it. Have a look and go, this is what it is, because if you're looking at the front, you're delusional. You're not taking the time to look back, but you're looking at this illusion that's out the front. Who knows what will ever happen, So it's really important to look back, not only from a standpoint of seeing how far you've come, but to give you a sense of meaning. That's where it comes from. The meaning in life comes from the challenges you've overcome. I want you to think about this, right? There's a puzzle, and imagine you've got your son or your daughter a puzzle. Let's just say your son for a puzzle. And you're about to give it to them as a present, but you say, hang on a second, I've got something for you. And then you duck off into the next room and you quickly make the puzzle for them, and then you give them the made puzzle. Your son's gonna look at it and say, well, I don't want this. Like, why did you make it for, right? So the son needs the broken puzzle to be able to find joy, meaning, and happiness in making the puzzle and then completing it. So the outcome is the same. At the end, he still gets a completed puzzle. One is where he did it, the other one is where he got given it. He's not grateful for it, but when he does it, he's so much more appreciative of it. And so inside of that broken puzzle, there's obviously the pain, the darkness, the struggle. And I'm using this as a metaphor if you haven't realized. It's a metaphor for life. So we have to go through the broken puzzle phase where we're kind of trying to figure things out and put it back together. And then it's like the masterpiece that we're creating. And that's where it gives us that happiness and that joy and that meaning and fulfillment. By looking back and seeing those things. What's been the good that's happened? What's the good that's going to come from that? What's the challenges I've overcome? That's where all of the gold is. Mining for gold, Look for it. It's there. Own your wins. Learn from the lessons. It's really important to go, what did I learn today or yesterday? And just allow yourself to find the joy and find the little gold nuggets in your life, because they're always there. You only look back. You can only connect the dots looking back. You can't connect the dots looking forward. So there will be no dots. You'll just constantly be in this gap, and you'll never really experience a whole lot of joy. You'll just be experiencing lots of lack, and you'll achieve one thing and you'll want to go on to the next because you haven't taken the time to enjoy what you actually really have right now in your life. If you want more confidence in your life, do things that make you proud of the man that you see back at yourself in the mirror. Now think about this. Imagine if you had a friend and you were like, yep, we're going to go for a workout in the morning. And then they just don't show up. And then the next morning they say, yep, I'll be there in the morning, and they don't show up. And they keep doing that every single day. You'd get to a point where you're like, you don't even bother messaging. They keep letting me down. I don't even respect them. I don't want anything to do with them. You wouldn't really like their company. You'd think it was a waste of their time, a waste of space, energy, right? So why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we let ourselves down like that? That's not being proud of ourselves. That's not showing ourselves confidence. That's not being proud of the person we see back at us. And that's why so many people don't like themselves, because they don't do the things they say they're going to do. They don't live up to the standards that they have set for themselves, or they don't even have standards for themselves. How can you really like yourself if you don't do the things you say you're going to? You keep letting yourself down. You lose trust in yourself because you know you don't do the things that you do. You obviously lose respect for yourself. You're just going to think that you're a waste of space because you're not willing to do the things that you are. So if you just commit to do it, just say that you're going to do it. Commit, whatever it is that you're doing, just make sure you do it. Even if you're not very good at it and you always let yourself down, then just start small. Just go, right, all I'm going to do today is just work out, and just start small and keep doing that. Make the wins for yourself. You get to play the rules. Make the rules. Make the rules to suit you. Don't try and do 20 things in a day knowing all well that you won't do them, because each time you do that, you're just depreciating yourself. We're either appreciating or depreciating. We're either growing or we're dying. You can't be in the middle. So if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. And most people, they don't realize this, and they're constantly going backwards because they're depreciating themselves. It's the same in any area of life. You depreciate, you go backwards, you die. So we don't want that for you. Now, number 5, have a plan for your finances. This one is really important. Like a lot of people, they just kind of wishfully hope that they'll get there and maybe the government will pay for their retirement, or they don't put any plan into their finances. And especially at the moment, in the world that we live in, instant gratification is everywhere, and people will be like, oh, I'm living my best life, I'm going to go on holiday and go all these things. But I think about it like this. You can set yourself up for 5 years. You can just, go, right, I'm just going to build my business. And if you don't have a business, start a business, learn it. Just go all in 5 years and sacrifice for 5 years to be free for the rest of your life. Most people, what do we work? Maybe 40, 45, 50 years. Let's just say 50 years, right? So people are working for 50 years. Let's sacrifice 5 of those to be free for the other 45. People don't see it like that. Or they go, you know what, I'm gonna try and give this a go for 6 months or 12 months, and they don't see the results that they want, and then they give up. Then they quit. You've got to keep going. Like, you're an apprentice, think of it like an apprenticeship or a traineeship. You do it for 4 years because it's a process. You've got to get through it. You don't get to the end of, in your apprenticeship, you don't get to the end of year 1 and be like, well, I haven't made it to a full-time employee yet, or like haven't finished my trade or signed off. I'm not getting paid all that much. You don't do that. You just go, right, I've got another year, I've got another year, I've got another year, and then you get to the 4th year, and then that's when you kind of quote unquote graduate and become qualified. So in business and in freedom, in being able to create some kind of passive income or some other side income, we need to think of it as an apprenticeship. Like, we're just going through our apprenticeship. We need to learn. Give yourself 2 to 5 years. And if you just sacrifice and just commit to that, go backwards, don't take any holidays, get rid of the things that you really don't need, invest in yourself massively, invest in your business or the things that you're starting, put all of your assets into that, and just go hard, double down on that. Also, you have to work on yourself. Business and, doing things different is a personal development course in itself. So you've got to invest in yourself at the same time. Money doesn't just respect wishful thinking. It's not going to do that. Build your future and don't just survive on that. And don't disrespect money by not taking care of it. Don't disrespect the money by, thinking it's just going to be there and not valuing it. The reason is, if you don't value it, you don't have any. And people say, oh, it's not important. I always say, if I was going to give you $10,000, who would say no? No one would. Everyone would be like, yeah. But then they say, oh, it's not important. That's just a belief. That's just a thought that's there. Just because it's important doesn't mean it rules your life. It is important. If you don't have it in this day and age, you will be hungry, homeless. So it is important. Stop telling yourself that it's not. Don't disrespect it like that. Money is no different to anything else. It's just a thing. It's the meaning that we give it. A man who doesn't understand money will always be at the mercy of someone who does, right? Because it will always flow hands back to the person who does understand it. So educate on that, yourself on that. Have a plan for your finances. Number 6, grow your network daily. This one is so important. Add to your customer list or your client list or your network every single day. So it doesn't mean necessarily you have to get new clients and new customers, but just add to them. You can make some more connections. Grow your network every day as well. It could just be meeting new people. It could be, adding new friends on Facebook, inviting new people to your community if you have a community, if you are, have a business or whatever it might be. Somehow, organize like a networking thing, a men's group or something in your area, and just, add to that every single day. Grow your network because it's so important. It's not what you know. It's not who you know. A lot of people used to say, and they probably still say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I think that's a little bit, there's a lot further than that, because I know lots of people, but it doesn't mean that they know me, right? So it's not who you know, it's who knows you and what they remember you for. Let me just repeat that once more because it's key. It's not who you know, it's who knows you and what they remember you for. Because if they don't know you, or if they don't even remember who you are or what you do, what's the point of them even knowing you, right? And what's the point of you knowing them? Because they don't remember you. So you need to make a good impression on them, and also understand that you've got to grow your network. Your net worth equals your network. So the more that you increase your network, the more you'll get open to opportunities. They say that, we're always 30 days away from meeting someone who's can potentially give us a big opportunity, but maybe we're just not open to it. They say that there's people that we walk past every single week that have the opportunity to help us like that. There's doors everywhere, but we're just not aware of them. But the more that you can grow your network and open those doors, who knows what might come from that. You're only one person away, from meeting someone that's going to completely change your life. Number 7, kind of flows on from the last one, but call or text 3 people a day. Build real connections. So this could be family, it can be friends, it can be acquaintances, it can be clients, it could be colleagues, it could be workmates, it could be, as we said before, it could be just random new people, connecting with new people. Get in the habit of doing it, because you are what you attract, and if you're putting that energy out to the world, into the universe, that you want to make connections, that you're talking with people, that you are making these connections, then the universe is going to bring you more circumstances and situations to help you with that. And you'll find it gets easier and easier and easier. Now, you don't necessarily have to call them and have like half an hour conversation, but you could just call them for 5-10 minutes, while you're driving, while you're doing something. Just go, hey, just thought of you, just wanted to give you a quick call. How you doing? How's things? How's life? Very quickly. So no, awesome. This is what's going on with me, this is what's going on with them. Just have a very small conversation. There's no real intention for calling, just rather than to build the connection, build the relationship, right? That's massive, that's key. Number 8, cherish your family. This one's so important. I think a lot of people, they take their family for granted, right? And also, we don't really realize how much we love something until it's gone. And you see it in relationships, people that take things for granted, especially men, they take things for granted and they think their relationship is going all well, and all of a sudden they'll come home one day and the partner's left with taking the kids. At some level they go, I don't know what happened, I didn't do anything. I think that's a bullshit lie that they're just trying to justify themselves with. I think there was signs that things were going on, they just weren't aware of them. But at the same time, you realize when they're gone how much you actually miss them. It's like, man, if only I just spent a little bit more time with them. If only I just gave it my all a little bit. If only I was a bit more present. If only I spent more time with them. If only I didn't work so much. If only I went to visit them a bit more. Don't live with those regrets, right? Someone in my life's had some health challenges, and I was like, well, what's the benefits of all this happening? It's like, and I was going through, well, it's going to make me closer. And I was like, why? Then I reflected, I'm like, why did I have to wait until something quote unquote bad happened for me to get closer? So cherish your family. You only have one, and don't hold grudges. There's no point, right? Cherish them. And it can be family, it can be blood, and it can be chosen, right? So, if there is some blood family that you don't get along with, then have a chosen family, right? But just cherish them, Number 9, listen better. Seek to understand. Listening is key. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Most people don't know how to listen, and I was watching this podcast interview the other day, and I didn't last very long on it, but the guy who was interviewing him, he would kind of like have his question preloaded, and he'd ask someone the question, and then he'd literally stop talking, the guy that was getting interviewed, and he just asked the next question and just moved straight on. And it was very like no acknowledgement of what the person just said. It was almost like he wasn't listening. He was just there asking the next question. And even he was like cutting him off a little bit. And I was like, this is a really not a great interview. And it just reinforced this point. Whereas all it really took was his like a little comment to acknowledge what he said, to agree with what he said, and then move on to the next question. That would have made a massive difference to the flow and the energy that was in the conversation. And so it's the same with us. When you meet someone, seek to understand them. There's no real like if we tie those 3 together with growing your network, calling people, 2 or 3 people a day, or texting them, and listening better, can make new connections with no other intentions rather than just to make the connection and to understand. Be interested in them, be really curious in them, be like, cool, tell me a bit more about that. What happened here? Like, just be really interested in them. Be interested, not interesting, right? Be interested in them. And you'll find that they like you, and then they'll tell others about you, and that will then help you grow your network daily. You'll get introduced to people, you'll be able to have more conversations, and it all comes from something so simple of just listening. And on to number 10, identify bad habits without judgment, right? A lot of people, they identify these bad habits and like, oh, I'm doing this again, or I'm doing this again, I'm doing this. We've got to identify those habits, right? The things that are holding us back, the blind spots. But then we want to just observe them without judgment, because they're there for a reason. Like, they weren't created, we didn't start doing them for no reason. For some reason that was there. Like, our mind, our unconscious mind has one job, and that's to keep us safe and protect us, and it's very good at that. It's very purposeful at that. So it's going to create all of these behaviors and all of these subconscious programs and conditioning to protect us. It's not there out to get us. It's not the enemy. It's there to help us. And if we can have that awareness and look at it without judgment, it then gives us more grace to be able to have a look at why some of these things are here, right? So some of the bad habits too is, how we present ourselves. So make sure you groom yourself better. Clip your ears, ear hair, nose hair, how you smell, whether that's breath, whether that's body odor, like, just look after yourself. I don't know if you've ever met someone and their breath smells and you're like, I don't want to even talk to this person, I want to get away as quick as I can. Or maybe you're talking with them and they've got like nose hairs hanging out, or ears hairs, or big eyebrow hairs. It's just like, we respect yourself. It's show a sign of respect to yourself by looking after yourself. I have a standard, a personal standard for myself, where I make myself look respectable wherever I go, whatever I do. Now, most of the times I'm wearing these shirts and the same pants, just black pants and these same shirts, and don't have to make any decisions. But I still look after myself, like I make sure, like, I kind of am clean shaven, or like, clean, don't let myself get too overgrown, have a haircut every now and then, do my hair, just really look after myself. Make sure that I don't smell, make sure my breath is all right. Just little things, but it makes you more likable. It's like, this person looks after themselves. Working out, I work out because I like myself. I enjoy working out my body, and I want to be proud of the person I see in the mirror. I think a lot of people, they hide under their clothes because they're not willing to be proud of themselves, and they're not really willing, and they just try and pretend that it's not there. So look after yourself. The other thing is, walk with purpose and talk with purpose. I don't know if you've ever seen someone who's like, that person's like, they look like they know what they're doing. They look like they're switched on. Like they look like they're leading, right? Those are the people who talk and walk with purpose. Be sharp, be direct, look like you give a damn. Look like you actually care about yourself, care about life, care about how you show up in the world. Look like that. And then you'll be a leader. You'd naturally become a leader. Now, if you think you're a leader and no one's following you, you're just going for a walk. You're not a leader. You're just out for a walk. So the more that you lead yourself, the more that you will lead others, and others will follow you. We live in a world where everyone's on their phone. They're literally looking for someone to follow. Like, literally, you follow people on Instagram, you follow people on all the platforms. Like, literally, they want to follow people because they want to try and make things for themselves. They live through that because they don't have it in themselves. They want to be led, right? But most people, they're not willing to lead themselves first. And so they're looking externally. Now, that's not right or wrong, but this is why it's so important and so easy for you to be great, by just leading yourself. By identifying your bad habits, doing the rest of these 10 things that we've already mentioned so far, looking after yourself, grooming yourself properly, being sharp, being direct, look like you give a damn about your life and what you're here to do, walk with purpose. All of those things is making you a leader, right? And you're just gonna naturally have people that start asking you. We had one of our guys in our program, we did a call last night at the time of filming this, and he was just saying, like, he went through a bit of a messy divorce. He had a very narcissistic partner. I don't like labeling people, but that's what they're saying about the person. I don't even know who it is. And he's got through it, and the divorce is finalized, and it's been very messy. He's doing so well. A lot of men, they go through that experience, and it wrecks their life for years to come, for decades to come. And it's been a year or two and he's like, you know, all good with it. It's really powerful, the work that we do, but also for him to be able to, you know, be free and enjoy life and be happy and put all that to the side and or behind him and move forward. And he was saying that now he's got to this point, it's like there's a lot of people who are maybe going through a divorce or similar situation, and they kind of reach out to him first. It's like he's got that energy because he's worked through that, right? And he's now becoming the leader in that sense, because people can see that he's leading himself because he's got to that point. So you'll naturally find that you won't even have to try, you'll just find followers come to you. Number 11, one of my personal favorites, and it's so important. Eat clean, train hard, and just understand what you're putting in your mouth. So many people, they don't have any awareness of the food that they're eating. They don't have any knowledge of it. Now, you don't need to go and do a nutrition course to fully understand it, but at least have some kind of idea, you know, like what's the makeup of this? Protein, carbs, fats, like very basic stuff. But most people don't, you know, or they say, oh, this is good food, this is bad food. I wouldn't necessarily say like good, bad, right, wrong. Like that's very black and white. I think it's much useful to say this food is unuseful for me, this food is useful for me, right? And it's just a completely different light. It's kind of the same concept, but it gives you a completely different light on it. So if you're tired, if you're drained, if you're foggy, if you're soft, you can't lead people. You certainly can't lead yourself. You know, so many people, they're just passing the time. I've got an hour left before I can go home from work. Like, man, you want to be powering through that hour, being like, I'm going to get so much done in this hour, and then I can go home and enjoy my time at home or family or whatever you do after work. Energy is earned, right? The more energy that you expend, the more energy you have. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the more that you move your body and the more that you are putting things out, the more the energy will come back, right? Energy can't be created or destroyed, it just changes form. You don't necessarily have low energy, you're just telling yourself that you do, and you think you need other things because you haven't moved the body enough. You know, if you sit down and you have a lazy day, you know, maybe it's a Sunday and you have a lazy day, you have a sleep in, you kind of don't have much energy, you're just lazing around, you don't really feel like doing much because you're not doing anything. Whereas if you get up and you train hard, you eat well first thing in the morning, you've set yourself up for an amazing day, right? So make sure that you do that. You train hard, you eat clean, you eat well. You don't have to be perfect. You might not have goals of being on stage as a bodybuilder, I'm not saying that, but train hard and eat well. You don't do that for the physical looks. You do it for how the energy that you have, how it makes you feel, right? And lastly, number 12, revisit point number 2. So revisit the dreams, the visions that you've built for yourself, and do one thing, just do something. Do one thing that's gonna take you a step forward towards that every single day. Only if it's a very small thing, just 1% better every day. Spaced repetition of doing something like that every single day compounds. Rather than trying to, you know, just leave it for a Saturday and do like 2 or 3 hours on it, you will get much more benefit by doing 20 minutes a day. I know it sounds counterintuitive as well as like, you know, well, it'd be better off if I could do a big block of it. But every single day, because you're building momentum and then your unconscious mind is helping you find different things. It's gonna, you know, give you ideas because it's on your mind, because you're moving forward, because you're doing it every single day, right? Your dreams mean nothing and your vision means nothing if you're not doing daily actions to get you there, right? If it doesn't move you closer towards it, then you're just wasting your dream, right? If you're not actively moving you forward. And if you're doing things that's not moving you forward towards there, then there's no point having that dream, right? So just do one thing every single day that's pushing you towards that. So those are those 12 things, right? And if you want a powerful life, like most men want a powerful life, very few build it. Why? Because one, they don't have the willpower, the discipline, but they don't have the actual steps to do it. So these 12 principles are literally giving you some steps. These are the reps that you do. It's like going to the gym. You can't expect to go to the gym once and all of a sudden walk out and have muscles, right? You've got to build and you've got to get those reps in. Thousands of thousands of thousands of reps. Like some gym workouts, I do 1,000 reps. You know, so I'm just thinking now, like how many reps I've done in my lifetime. Be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, right? And so we need to think of that same logic in our life. If we want to reach all of our goals and our dreams and our desires, we've just got to get the reps in. Comes through repetition. So these are the practices. Get the reps in. That's the standard, that's the code. Lock them in and you'll become the man that other men respect and that people want to follow and that women remember and your partner looks up to you. I always say, you know, like I personally don't have any kids that I know of anyway, but I want my kids, you know how like you go to school and people say, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or who's your hero? Or like, who do you look up to? I want my kids to say my dad. I want my kids to say me. Not in an egotistical way, but just for me to be like, I want to be such a good role model to them where they admire me. And not necessarily look up to me, but they just are like, I want to be like you when I grow up. I think we live in a world where there's enough of that. And so that's just what I'm aspiring to be. And if you want to borrow it, go for it. So it's been a pleasure speaking with you. I hope you got so much out of it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all those things that you need to. And I just want to say too, you know, you're so much worthier than what you think. You've done so much better than what you think. And I love you. And if there's anything I can do, let me know. I'll talk to you and I'll see you on the next one. You made it to the end of the video. You are the true top 1%. Now, don't forget to like and comment below what you got, your biggest takeaway was. I love hearing that. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like, the biggest insight, realization. I read them all and I like seeing what you got from this. Now, if you'd also like to grab my copy of my free ebook, 4 Rules Any Man Can Follow to Radically Transform His Life, click on the link down below in the description in this video. And if you love this video, you can check out some of the other videos on here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.